Hey everyone. Hey, it's Ace. It's Ace coming at you live with another fantastic episode from the Raise E Show. And you know what? I love to fucking talk. You know why? I love you people. And you know what? Let's get on with the show. Today's subject, are you an empath? Let's try to discover if you're an empath or not. An empath is a person highly attuned to the feelings and emotions of those around them. Empaths feel what another person is feeling at a deep emotional level. Their ability to discern what others are feeling goes beyond empathy, which is defined simply as the ability to understand the feelings of others. Instead, being an empath extends to actually taking those feelings on. Let me read that one again. The person's ability to discern what others are feeling goes beyond empathy, which is defined simply as the ability to understand the feelings of others. Instead, being an empath extends to actually taking those feelings on and feeling their emotions. Science is divided on whether or not true empaths, people who can tap into and take on the emotions of those around them, actually exist. Though plenty of people claim to have such abilities, we know that researchers have discovered what they've dubbed mirror neurons. Mirror neurons in the brain, which may help us mirror the emotions of those we come in contact with. And it appears some people may have more mirror neurons than others, suggesting that empaths may exist. How can you tell if you might be an empath? Some of the common empath traits include empathy. There's no doubt some people are more prone to empathy than others. We've all known someone in our lives who was just gifted at reading our feelings. Just as we've all known people who seem completely disconnected from the feelings of those around them. Intuition. Empaths also tend to have a great sense of intuition. They trust their instincts and often go with their gut when making decisions. Because they are so attuned to how others are feeling, they may pick up on some subtle information or clues that might help them guide their decision making. Caring. People who describe themselves as empaths also tend to care greatly about others. They understand the needs, the wishes, and fears that others face. So an empath may strive to make sure that other people have the things they need to feel safe, secure, and happy. Because of this, people may describe them as tender or warm-hearted. However, this tendency can sometimes make it challenging for empaths to set boundaries with others. Let's read that again. Because of this, people may describe them as tender or warm-hearted. However, this tendency can sometimes make it challenging for empaths to set boundaries with others. Sensitivity. Empaths are not just sensitive to emotions, but tend to pick up on other aspects of the environment. This means they may be more aware of sights, sounds, smells, and other physical sensations that other people might not notice. As a result, an empath may be more bothered by certain scents, smells, tastes, or more easily distracted by noises in their surroundings. Empath tests. So assuming empathy and other empath traits exist on a spectrum, with some people being highly empathetic and others psychopaths lacking empathy entirely. How do you measure your own? And at what level would you qualify yourself as an empath? Let's read that again. So assuming empathy and other empath traits exist on a spectrum, with some people being highly empathetic and others psychopaths lacking empathy entirely. They have no feelings for anybody around them, only themselves. How do you measure your own? At what level would you qualify yourself as an empath? How to determine if you're an empath? You can start by asking yourself some questions about how well you relate to others and how you physically and emotionally respond to big emotional events taking place in your presence and in your life. If you find that you answer yes to most of all these questions, there's a good chance you are an empath. Do you find yourself taking on others' stress? Have you been accused of being too sensitive in the past? Do you feel overwhelmed in crowded spaces? Would others describe you as empathetic? Different empathy experts have their own quizzes that may help you to answer the question of whether or not you are an empath. For yourself, Dr. Judith Orloff asks, do I often feel like I don't fit in? While self-proclaimed empath Tara Meyer Robson asks if you have trouble watching the news or find sad movies overwhelming. Since there is no certain criteria for whether you're or not you're an empath, answering that question is entirely subjective and may ultimately come down to whether or not you believe yourself to be one. What is an empath disorder? A number of psychiatric disorders may be associated with an empathy deficit, including borderline personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, and autism spectrum disorders. This can result in a reduced understanding of emotions and the emotional state of others. The benefits of being an empath. Is being an empath a good thing? There are some obvious benefits to being highly attuned to other people's emotional experiences. If you can tap into the feelings of those around you, you should also be able to better support and take care for the people who matter the most to you. Knowing that another person is feeling down and depressed, lonely and scared, even if they don't outwardly show it, puts you in a position of being able to help them through that, gaining their trust and becoming someone they learn to rely on in the future. This can make you a better partner and friend and help strengthen your relationships. Being this attuned also means you can spot a liar from a mile away. Empaths don't have to worry about being taken advantage of because they aren't easily tricked or manipulated. And when they are, it's because they ignored their initial instincts about someone, not because they missed the signs altogether. All right, I'm going to stop reading right there. Let's talk about empaths, okay? Are you an empath? Have you seen or felt an empath? Have you been down and depressed and somebody helped you? You know what? It's funny because in my life they naturally show up when you need them the most. When I was down and depressed, somebody came along and helped me when I felt like I was
being gunned down to the ground in life. Life was throwing all it had at me in a negative way. And you know what? It's not a good feeling to be down and depressed. If you are an empath, you can be hurt the most because you care more than others. And if you're in love, you care more if the other person is not an empath. If they're a narcissist, an egotistic person that only cares about themselves. If they're lying, stealing, and cheating from your heart, they're definitely not a true empath. A true empath will learn to get in touch with their emotions, their feelings, their supernatural ability to love more, to care more about you, their partner. This is all about relationships, people. Relationships. A relationship, a loving relationship, is bound by love. Love is a powerful emotion, a good emotion. It's a pure spirit. And the only way you could possibly be an empath is because you love. You do love. And when you love other people and care about other people, you know who you are. You know you're a strong individual inside. I mean, in a loving way. An empath feels sadness for other people who are going through tough times, and who don't have the ability to get out of a hole.
They don't have the ability to rise above life when it's bringing them down. When an empath gets his or her heart broken, they ignored the warning signs, because an empath can tell clearly, A, they're being cheated on, B, they're being lied to. And if you, as an example, ask a question that you know clearly the answer already, but you want to hear it from your partner. Did you do this? Are you cheating on me? And why are you lying to me? And the other person flies off the handle and gets mad and angry because you're asking the question. But you know in your heart, you know in your gut, it's true. You know the answer already, but you want to hear it from them because you do love them. You can be an empath and love somebody, but still get hurt by that person. Because when we fall in love, it's how can I explain this? It separates your empathic psychic ability, which is kind of the same thing, to tune in, to separate being hurt, and you have to make a move to get out. But you don't want to because you're attached. An empath gets more attached to somebody than a regular soul, a regular person who doesn't care about anybody. But you can still fall in love with somebody because they're beautiful on the outside, because even if they don't care about you, after a year or whatever, and they start doing things that you know aren't part of your plan, you go to sleep at night and you feel sad in your heart, you feel sick to your stomach because you feel so much love for that person that
in nature
you wish in your heart they felt the same level of love for you, but it doesn't happen, right? How do you change that? How do you change the mind of a narcissist? How do you change the mind of someone who doesn't care, who doesn't love, but you still want to be with that person? You just want to put your arms around that person and say, I love you so much. But you know what? And you can't imagine one day that you're not going to be with that person. You can't imagine one day that you're going to separate yourself from that soul. Because if you're an empath, you united your soul to that person's soul because you felt it at one point. The fire was there, the love was there. The love was there, and now it's not. What do you do? How do you handle it? Well, you know what I would do? I would get my ass into church and pray with my whole heart and soul, because the only way you can feel your other people's souls and love when you fell in love is because God blessed you with that. God made everyone on earth and nobody can tell you he didn't. You know what? If you're sad in life, but you know you're a loving soul, give yourself a big cheer. Give yourself a big cheer from where you were and where you are now. Give yourself a standing ovation. You know? You know why? You try. You can keep trying. Try to mend that relationship. Do whatever you can possible, because when you're an empath with empathic abilities, and that's God-given, when you break up, when you have a breakup, it hits you much harder than somebody that's a narcissist, than somebody that's an egotistic maniac. You know what's right and wrong. Stop fooling yourself. But I'm saying stop putting a smoke screen in your mind and making up excuses that that person is good. Because clearly if you know they're not, then you know the truth. You know the truth. In your heart. The only thing you can do is pray that the relationship will flourish, that the fire of love will burn again,
and that you won't get hurt in the long run. That's all you can do. Pray to God every day that he brings that person back to you in a loving way, if you still want to try. If you don't want to try, that's your choice, because if you are an empath, naturally you will find somebody else and they will come to you. You will naturally meet somebody new that will love you forever. So what you have to do, in other words, is separate whatever you feel that you're attracted to that person after they cheated, lied, and stole your heart, or ripped your heart from your body. Separate that. Keep an open mind. If you meet somebody new and your partner, wife, or husband doesn't want to change and love you again, keep your mind open to new beginnings, people. And I would suggest that you watch YouTube. I'm going to send a link to something that you should watch, okay? It's a channel on YouTube that talks about God, and it gave me strength, power, and wisdom. I'm going to send the link when I get off of this podcast, and you know what? Ask yourself and research, are you an empath? Do you have the ability to feel somebody else's sorrows, feel somebody else's emotions, and feel somebody else's lies? And don't say you don't feel it. Don't deny your ability, your God-given ability, to anyone, including yourself. Don't shadow. Don't cloud what's wrong just to stay in a bad relationship. Don't cloud. Don't smoke screen the reality of what you're seeing, because you're not wrong. If you've got a cheater, get rid of them. You're fucking better than that. If you've got a liar, get rid of them. You're fucking better than that. If you've got a thief that steals your heart and breaks it and is lying to you, get fucking rid of them, because you have a choice, people. I'm Ace, and I love fucking talking because I love you people and I want to help. in any way possible. Till the next broadcast, please like, share, and follow. And tell me if you like this. Ace out. Peace out.